All right, welcome everyone. So, one of my viewers recently sent me a message. He was just simply asking me, "Hey, can you give me some recommendations for movies that are historically related?" And I thought, well, there's a whole bunch out there, and it gave me an idea to kind of do my top five. There's a lot. I could think of, if I did, I should do another short video after this. I might do my top five from World War II because there were so many from that period of time. They're just so amazing. I always say a couple things before I get into my list. Is of course there's many on this that it was so hard to pick just five. That's one. The other thing I also want to make sure it's clear that there's no like 100% accurate historical movies. Hollywood takes these movies, they dramatize them, they add things, they adjust things, of course. Some are completely almost make believe, and others are more historically accurate. Some may have a kind of make believe narrative in a historical event that's very accurate. Actually, I have a couple on the list like that. The other thing, of course, a lot of these movies are going to be rated R, so sometimes I get parents who want to ask me questions about like, what's a good movie for my kids and all that. So just always kind of keep that in mind. History is pretty bloody and brutal, and so a lot of the movies are going to depict that, especially if they're going to be accurate. So number five, let's start with a really fun one, right? Gladiator. Yeah, Gladiator is a fun movie. Came out in the year 2000. It's set during the Roman Empire time, during a Roman emperor named Marcus Aurelius and his son Commodus and this guy Maximus. And I have to say, my five on the list is probably the least historically accurate, but maybe the most fun to watch. It's a great movie. It's a lot of fun, but when you watch it, again, maybe I could do a whole separate video just on the story of Gladiator as well, and just this one movie, what is accurate, what's not accurate on it. But it's definitely a lot of fun in terms of just a fun movie of the Roman period. But there's a lot of historical inaccuracies. They got the names of the characters right. I mean, Marcus Aurelius was the emperor, the Commodus was his son, and so forth. But beyond that, there's a lot of mistakes, especially in terms of even how the gladiator fights took place. But anyways, it's one that's definitely a lot of fun to watch. But so it's a good movie. Number four, a really powerful movie that I saw recently, 1917, came out in 2019, a World War One movie, and it really, again, the narrative is fictional. The story of these two men are kind of sending a message and all that. That's a bit fictional, but the description of the trenches and the way they shot it was really cool. It was like all shot in one scene or one, I don't even know exactly how it was done, but with one cut, and you just follow them the whole movie, and it's very well done. So I really loved watching that. I thought, wow, it really depicts the World War One trenches incredibly well. I know recently another World War One movie was remade, All Quiet on the Western Front. I honestly haven't had a chance to see that yet. It's pretty recent, and the book is amazing. So if the movie is half as good as the book, it might actually even be better than 1917. So I haven't seen that. And then another one, just I'm going to recommend here. It's not a movie; it's more of a documentary, but it's really good. It's called They Shall Not Grow Old. They took World War One footage and colorized it, and that is great World War One stuff. So if you're into World War One, you could watch 1917. They Shall Not Grow Old. Maybe check out All Quiet on the Western Front. Those are all good options. Number three, Glory. This is a little bit older movie, 1989. Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, amazing cast. When I used to teach U.S. history a long time ago, I haven't taught U.S. history in a while, but when I started to teach, it was taught U.S. history as much as my Western Civ. I would actually show this movie every semester. It's about the Massachusetts 54th, and how they played an important role in the Civil War. Of course, everything with issues of the slavery and events of this entirely black regiment that was part of the war. So very powerful movie. There's also I enjoyed. I remember the details in it, like even how they loaded. I think it was an Enfield rifle, and there's a scene there how they loaded it. And I thought that was done really well. Good acting, good movie. Very important one as well. I think it captures a very important time in U.S. history. So I definitely like the movie Glory. Number two, Saving Private Ryan. Again, amazing World War II movie, came out in 1998. D-Day story. Again, like 1917, the narrative, it's more fictional, but the depictions of the landing on the beaches and, the after effect of that is just so well done and powerful. I do tell my students, if you do watch just like the first 30 minutes of that, talk about A, it's brutal. But B, I've had people tell me who've studied this even more detail than I have, that as brutal as you see that first 30 minutes, it's still not as bad as the reality of what must have happened that day. And so, if you want like a D-Day film, that's a good one. Lots of other World War II stuff. Like I said, I love Dunkirk. There's a great one called Darkest Hour about Winston Churchill. I love that movie as well. The King's Speech. So I definitely going to do. I think at some point I got to do a top five just on World War II because I have Saving Private Ryan, and of course, I have one more history movie that's also World War II related, and that's going to be Schindler's List. Definitely one of not just the best historical movies ever made, just one of the best movies ever made. 1993, Liam Neeson, Ray Fiennes, Ben Kingsley, talk about another great cast. And the real story of Oskar Schindler, I think also of all the five, it's probably the most accurate historical, real person, real stories, real people. And it is, of course, an emotional ride. It is definitely if I started Gladiator, which is a lot of fun, this is probably the exact opposite, but definitely most important movie in terms of historical movies as well. And if you've never seen Schindler's List, especially if you have younger people, I think it's an important one for them to watch. It does an amazing job. Of course, there are, again, a lot of other movies as well that were done on the Holocaust as well. So, lots of other great movies. I was thinking as I was making this list, Apollo 13, the movie 42. I love that movie, actually. That was a good one. If you like in the Napoleonic period, Master and Commander was a good movie. So there's so many more. So I'd really actually appreciate it if after you watch this, maybe leave some comments in the comment section of some of the videos you like, some historical movies you like, what you thought of these selections, what you think of some others. Other people can kind of watch these and get some good ideas of things to watch. But those would be the kind of top five, at least on top of my head. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed that and you found it interesting. And again, please, as always, feel free to share and subscribe and, leave comments. It kind of all helps people get a chance to see some of these lectures of mine. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day. Thank you.